You don't move out of the shot. I'm fine with it. Like a move and then stay put. Okay, I just wanted to let you know. Yeah, not a problem. No, it's okay. I just want to let you know.
Good morning. No? Would everyone please rise and sing our opening song, This Little Light of Mine?
Do you want to? No, I said, do you want to speak louder? Nice and loud. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. We will sing in peace. We're gonna let it shine. We will sing in peace. We're gonna let it shine. We will shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. You sounded great.
Welcome to Unity of New Westminster. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you, Graham, for our live music. It's so much more fun to have live music. So thank you for being here today. And welcome to everyone who are here. I see people clapping at that idea. Welcome to all of you who are here today. It is lovely to see you all. I am Reverend Rhona Segarra, and it is my pleasure and privilege to be the minister of this entire community. And the reason I say a minister is because later on I'm going to introduce the idea that you are also ministers for our community. So I lead this ministry, but you are all ministers too. How'd you like that idea? Can I hear confessions? No confessions. So welcome all who are here. And if you are joining us for the first time, either in person or online, welcome. And everyone is here to say hello to you. So we're going to turn the camera down. And hi, everyone. We ask that if you enjoy our service and you are watching online, that you please subscribe to our YouTube channel and share with other people as much as you can so that we can get the message of empowerment out to the world. And speaking of empowerment, the reason we are here is because the Unity movement offers ideas for full and abundant living. And these ideas are empowering. We draw on the teachings of Jesus, who we consider our primary way shower and example. And we honor and celebrate that there are many understandings for faith, many understandings for that one power that we call God. And we honor every person's right to choose their own life path. All are welcome here. All are worthy here. All are celebrated here. And so we begin our service today in a time of centering prayer. So I invite you to close your eyes if that is comfortable for you. Or just turn within. We begin by acknowledging with gratitude that we here are on the traditional and ancestral territory of the Kakite First Nation. And we give thanks for First Nation peoples everywhere, for their custody of these amazingly beautiful lands. We believe that there is only one God, one creative power that is understood by many names and worshipped in many ways. And whatever our understanding, we are connected in one power. There is no spot that God is not. And so, knowing that, feeling that connection with each other, we send a blessing of love, a blessing for peace, a blessing for contentment, a blessing to uplift every person on this planet. We know that there are labels that divide us, and we choose to see beneath those labels to our shared humanity. And it is from that shared humanity perspective that we connect energetically with the people beside us, with the people we love, and also with those we don't. And so we bless, we love, we uplift. And this is prayer. And for that power, that intention, that ability to bless that we all have, we give thanks. Amen.
Today's daily word is dominion. And we're going to have our lovely Barb, and we love Barb, read that for us today.
Okay. Yeah. Good morning. Okay. I claim dominion and direct the course of my life. While I may not be able to control what happens in my life, I am always free to determine how I will respond. Through my divine faculty of dominion, I decide what to think, what to say, and how to act. If a thought of fear or powerlessness arises, I remember all the wisdom, understanding, and strength of God are within me. Whether I'm organizing my day or moving forward after making a life-altering decision, the principle of dominion is always mine to claim. Knowing this, I move through life with quiet confidence. I am secure in myself and the knowledge I am a divine being. I claim dominion and feel my life expand into a field of limitless possibility and potential. You have given them dominion over the works of your hands. You have put all things under their feet. Psalm 8, verse 6.
Dominion. The world is our dominion.
When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. And in my hour of darkness, she is standing right in front of me. let it be. For though they may be parted, there is still a chance that they will see. There will be an answer, let it be. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be. There will be an answer, let it be.
And so as we listen to the wisdom of the words to let it be, let us move into a time of quiet as we open our hearts, open our minds to a place of receptivity. Think about, imagine extending your body, your length of your body. Open up the crown of your head and imagine that you are stretching into infinity. See if you can feel yourself getting taller. Imagine becoming taller and open through the top of your head, through into infinity. And then bring your attention to your feet. And imagine your feet opening up. The bottom of your feet extending downward. As if there are roots growing from your feet that deepen and flow all the way through the earth. Deeper and deeper. So you are extending your length. Imagine those roots flowing all the way through the core of the planet, right through to the other side, through particles, through matter, through rock, through fire, all the way through the earth. And now, imagine extending your width. Your width. Imagine your arms expanding from side to side to include all people. To include the people who are closest to you in life, your family, your friends, your closest relationships. And then widen your width to include your colleagues, your peers, all people. People known and unknown, people of all colors, all races, all nationalities, all creeds, all. Imagine yourself enlarged, tall and wide, expanded. And now in this place of expansion, think of the word compassion. And more specifically, self-compassion. What is self-compassion? The definition of self-compassion is related to compassion itself. Compassion involves being touched by the suffering of others and opening one's awareness to the other's pain. And not avoiding or disconnecting from it, so that feelings of kindness toward others and the desire to alleviate their suffering emerges. Compassion also involves non-judgmental understanding for those who fail, and to those who do wrong, so that their actions and their behaviors are seen in the context of shared human fallibility. Shared human fallibility. The recognition that none of us does everything perfectly every time. Self-compassion, therefore, involves being touched by and open to one's own suffering and not avoiding or disconnecting from it. This generates the desire to alleviate one's own suffering and to heal oneself with kindness. Self-compassion also involves allowing a non-judgmental understanding of one's own pain, extending non-judgmental understanding to our inadequacies, to our failures, so that our experience is seen as part of a larger human experience. So we see our experiences as part of humanity. And as we prepare ourselves to listen to the rest of Let It Be, I invite you to think of self-compassion, an element of compassion for all. Awareness of pain, kindness, forgiveness, and allowing. And so it is. And when the night is cloudy, there is still a light that shines on me. Shine until tomorrow, let it be. Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom. Let it be, let it be, let it be, let it be, and let it be. Whisper words of wisdom, let it be. Thank you. All right. Are you ready for the final week of Unity's principles? And you know it's coming. Let's see if we can sing this to the happy birthday song. Two more times. Ready? One universal power, a network of all ideas lead to experiences. Take time to be still. You'll live in peace. And now, you didn't know it, but there's a verse 2. Which is, ready? If peace isn't there, take time to be still and question your thinking. What other idea could add more peace? Ah, you guys are such good singers. Today, we are going to look at the 5th principle of unity and how we can actually apply that 5th principle in our life. Very quickly, let's do a review of these principles. First is one universal power. And we spoke about this at some length several weeks ago. This idea that there is one creative energy, that whether our understanding of that energy is a religious understanding or a scientific understanding or simply, I don't believe in any of it, it doesn't really matter because there is only one power. And so we spoke about the idea, excuse me, that there is no spot that God is not. And that I have some, thank you. And that if there is no spot that God is not, then it's really not, it can be quite freeing because it means that what I believe, which may be different from what you believe, which might be different from what you believe, and what they believe, that we can make space for all of it in this one expanded idea that there is only one power. And that really comes down to this idea of There's my way, there's your way, there's their way. It's just a way. And then as part of that, I spoke about the idea that it's all included. That if that is true, that there is no spot that God is not, then that means that there is no God and the devil vying for whether or not there's going to be dominion over us, but rather that there are expressions of energy that tend to uplift, and there are expressions of energy that tend to be more destructive. But they are all energy. It's like saying, name a place where there is no gravity. And sure, there are places in the cosmos somewhere that might not have gravity, but gravity as a principle is always existing. So, one universal power. No spot that God is not. And that means that my way, your way, their way are all ways. Next, principle 2, a network of all. If there is no spot that God is not, then we are all in that network, in that spot, if you will. And so there is no place where God is not, where that energy, that creative energy is not at work. And that includes us. And that we, therefore, are energetic beings. And with our energy, with our intention, with our thoughts, we can influence the people and the events around us. That we are all part of that cosmic soup that we call God. And that means that your way, their way, my way, all ways are all okay. You can take down all of the must be my way. It's all God. It's all creative energy. And because that's true, that we each then have power to influence things around us. And so we can bring a room down and, oh my gosh, I know all about that. The power of one person can be remarkable in terms of walking into a room and you can just feel everything sag. And by the same token, there are times when you can walk into a room and you can feel everything uplift just by the presence of one person. And we have all of us at one point or another been both. None of us is free from that experience of dragging people down at times and lifting people up at times. There's a lot of power in that recognition. And that brings us to point number 3, which is ideas lead to experiences. And we had quite a chuckle over the idea of dishwasher differences and how the ideas we hold about how things should be done can really impact and affect our relationships and our joy of life. And it just takes one person in the system to shift, for the system itself to shift, and then to realize that, differences don't necessarily mean divorce. And sometimes they might. And that's also true. And the key point here is things have meaning because we give meaning to things. But often we make them up. So, that was ideas lead to experiences. And then we moved to number 4, which for some reason is not shifting for me. There we go. Which is take time to be still. And what this is talking about is the idea that if this is if principle number 3 is true, that we actually have the power to influence our experience of things in life, then wouldn't it make sense for us to be quite intentional about how we choose to experience things? And so number 4, take time to be still, is that place where we take a time out and set intentions for ourselves, where we rest enough that we can be fully functional so that we're not reacting. And then finding a place where we can open ourselves up to insight rather than being on our autopilot where we do the same thing over and over again because of our patterned responses, which we all have. And so the invitation in Principle 4 was to take time to be still, to make reflection a part of your routine, to rest, to restore, to be open to insight, which is what meditation is, to set a vision for how we want to be in the world, how we want things to unfold. And my saying, and I'm saying it because Aaron said he liked it, is don't just do something, sit there. Don't just do something, sit there. And so now we move to Principle 5, the 5th principle. And last week, Principle 5, we had a snow day, so we weren't actually able to have a service where we spoke about Principle 5, and we had the most lovely discussion on Zoom about living our principles and practicing our principles, and the idea of not enoughness. And the reason that this came up is because Principle 5, language, is something to the effect of, it is not enough to know these things, we must live them. And that sounds wonderful. It's not enough to know these things, we must live them. And I think instead of not enough and must, we would be more constructive if we said, these are lovely principles that will add peace to your life. Let's move towards living them more often. And the reason for that is just a mental thing that I have to the words not enough, which is maybe my own thing, but apparently as part of this discussion we found out I wasn't alone in that. Of course we want to live our principles. And so let's talk about ideas for making that happen, to move towards putting these principles that I just spoke to you about into practice. I think of it as walk the talk. Walk the talk more frequently. And, as I said at the beginning of the service, each one of us is a ministry. Your life is a ministry. How does that land for you when I say that? Can you say that again, Siv? Been there before. Your life is a ministry. What we learn here, what ideas we share here is wonderful in the space on a Sunday. And your ministry begins when the service ends. And so how do we do that? How do we take this energy of love and peace and empowerment and excitement and carry it with us outside of this room and into every other experience in our life? How do we do that? That's where my second verse comes in. Because what we do is we start at the end and we move our way back up. We start at, okay, so we need to live in peace. We need to practice these principles. But I'm not feeling peaceful. Something's going on in my world at the moment, and my life is upsetting in some way. How do I then practice my principle? How do I walk my talk? We start at the bottom. We recognize that something is out of alignment for us. When peace isn't there. Notice I did not write in this little song that I wrote, I didn't write if peace isn't there. Because life happens. And so there are times by definition that things will not feel peaceful. Things will feel a little anxious, or plans may not go the way we want, and we can feel it in our bodies. We get messages and news and lose jobs and encounter relationship challenges, and all these things add to a sense of peace isn't there. So how do we practice the principles? When we recognize it, we move up the ladder. And what's the first thing then that we do? We take time to be still. We open ourselves up to the idea that we want to rest. Because sometimes all we need to do to feel more at peace is to rest. And if that's still not quite right, well, we stay in that place until we restore ourselves. And what does that mean? That we rest, that we walk, that we meditate in whatever way feels comfortable for you, each one of us. And we open ourselves up to a different insight about why this may be feeling so upsetting for us, or how we might approach it in a more wise way. Taking time to be still gets us off the rabbit wheel, or hamster wheel, I guess it is, of the same patterned response that I've had 100 times, 1,000 times before, that's always led to even more upset. Before we do that, we take time to be still so that we can respond rather than react. Add reflection to your routine. And then we move up the ladder again. So instead of thinking of ideas lead to experiences, well, if this is true, then what other idea could lead to more peace for me? Remember, things have meaning because of the meaning we give things. And so if someone disagrees with me, whether it's politics or religion or the way I speak or the way I dress or the way I look or who I love or how I parent or how I show up as a spouse or a child or a sibling or a sister or sister, same thing as sibling. You get the idea. People will disagree with you about various things in life. My question then is, do I have to mind? And maybe just letting them have that opinion. Opinions are like belly buttons. Everybody's got one. They can have their opinion. It's only when it starts to be something that I absorb that I suffer from their opinion. So, what other idea could lead to more peace? Person with an opinion. Oh well. And why is that something that we can do? Because we know that there's my way, there's their way, it's just a way. They're entitled to it as much as I am to mine. Freedom. I don't have to convince, I don't have to coerce, I don't have to agree, I don't have to marry it. Or not. The point is that the question that we want to ask ourselves is there a different way? What other idea could lead to more peace? Because often what happens is we argue against what's already happened. The flat tire at the side of the road that's making you late. Well, that's happened. And it's only when we get ourselves in a tizzy about it that we actually suffer more than accepting that flat tire happened. Now what? As opposed to that flat tire happened, oh, I'm so stupid, I should have had it checked, I should have left more time. Anytime you hear the word should in your head, ask it to just go away. And accept, though, that you'll never stop hearing the word should. And so be okay with that too. It's all included. And when we're in that place where we are judging, and again I say when, not if, and let's remember that what we see in a person is only ever a small part of their life experience. And how they're expressing is only a small part of who they are and what makes them who they are. And so when we're in that place where we're so tempted to judge because that jerk is driving too fast on the street, think about the times when we've had something going on in our life that has caused us to drive too fast on the street. Because we've all been in all of those places at one time or another. And would we have preferred someone to judge us or to grant us a certain amount of compassion and a certain amount of, I hope they remain safe, whatever is going on? So, allow. If there's one message that I can leave you with, it's my white stone message for this year, which I didn't even write. but it just keeps coming to me all the time. And that is allow. Allow yourself to have high expectations, to want to live and practice these principles. And then allow yourself to not always be there. It's not a must. We must live these principles. Instead, let it be a direction. Let it be something that we aspire to. In this way, we walk our talk for ourselves. And that allows us to walk our talk for everyone else. And so, one universal power, a network of all. Ideas lead to experiences. Take time to be still. You'll live in peace. And when peace isn't there, take time to be still. Question your thinking. What other idea could add more peace? I bless you.
Song I wrote, you might want to sing it note for note. Don't worry, be happy. In every life we have some trouble. When you worry, you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Woo! Ain't got no place to lay your head. Somebody came and took your bed, but don't worry, be happy. The landlord says your rent is late. He may have to litigate. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Woo! Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Ain't got no cash, ain't got no style, ain't got no one to make me smile. But don't worry, be happy. 'Cause when you worry, your face will frown, and that will bring everybody down. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Woo! Now in your life expect some trouble. When you worry you make it double. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy now. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy.
Mine is that I need a new mic. There. So you don't have to say what the nature of your issues are. You just need prayer. And we will do that. On Monday morning, all of us together will pray for all of the names on the list. And if you would like to add your name to the list, put the slip, I think the slip is in your little red folder. Put the slip into the box, into the basket as it comes around, or email us, or you might find the link on our website. Okay, so please do that if you feel that you are in the need for prayer, which I often feel I am. We leave the names on our list for 2 months. That is right here at this location. And then we forward the names to the Silent Unity, which is a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week prayer vigil and prayer phone line that's located in Unity Village near Kansas City. And by the way, for those of you that are unfamiliar with that, you could Google that and look it up. And it's really quite a ministry that they do there. A number of ministers and prayer chaplains man that telephone line for 24 hours a day. And they've been doing that now for, I think we calculated 100 years, more or less 1 or 2 years. What's that? A celebration of life for Linda McIntosh will be held on Saturday, March the 11th at 2 o'clock, right here in this church. Linda was a loving, light-filled, beautiful member of our congregation who passed away on October of 2021, which, if most of you will remember, was right in the middle of COVID. And so we had to postpone her a celebration of life, and we will be doing that on March 11th. So please mark it in your calendars and tell whomever you like that might be interested in attending that with us. I'm sorry? I'm sure they will. Certainly if they know about it. You might want to tell them. Last week was the last Sunday of the month, but we had a snow day. Yay! Oh, no. So we're celebrating that today. And also, we are having a potluck, which we also postponed last week. So please stay and enjoy that after service today. And after the potluck, you are all invited to join in the fun as Cindy's Creative Cafe and Karaoke. This event also happens on the last Sunday of each month, and so we are going to do it again today. That means that you will have 2 times this month to celebrate birthdays and potlucks and Cindy's Creative Workshop. Oh yeah, okay, so the workshop is about singing, it's about painting, it's about drawing, it's about telling stories or an expression or giving us your impression of whatever artistic talent you think you might have. The attendance is by donation, unless you want to paint. Then that's $10 because that will cover the material for the painting. So please share your talents with us after church today. Okay, and then we are grateful for all of your gifts, which support our ministry. Many in our community contribute with pre-authorized payments done directly from the bank. So if you are not adding anything into the basket today, please bless our prosperity and move it along. As we sing our blessing song, please bring to mind something that you are grateful for, which I'm sure we all have something like that, because we are all blessed. Thank you.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
And we are blessed, so blessed. We have a few opportunities to contribute. So one of the places that we are looking for some extra support in is our audio-visual team. So if you are interested at all in being part of our audio-visual team that hangs around at the back there, we are looking particularly for someone to be a camera operator so that Lidwina, who has been doing this religiously every week, can have a well-deserved break. And so what we're looking for is someone who's interested in learning the operation of the camera so that you can each take turns. And if we have enough people, ideally we would have one person per month. So you would have one schedule per month on the camera. And it's a fun experience. You have to kind of be paying attention a little, but it's fun because you get to move the camera around with a little remote control. You start up the YouTube stream and end the YouTube stream. And if that is something of interest to you, then please either see our beautiful Lidwina at the back or come and see me after the service. and let me know that you are interested in that. It is a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun. And then we are at the point now where we are ready to think about beginning our children's ministry. And so to make that happen, we are looking for one person to take the lead as the team lead for children. And what that will do, what that person will do, is work with me on a curriculum that is called Spiritual Playdate. Can you think of us? It's such a nice name, Spiritual Playdate. It's what we do here on a Sunday, but they'll do it down there with this curriculum. And so everything is going to be organized for you, but of course we need someone to lead it. And so if that's something that's appealing to you, then please see me as well. And finally, we need someone who, not need someone, we are looking for more people on our prayer team. So if somebody is interested, what people on the prayer team do is they receive an email from Penny, normally once a week, but if there are new names, then sometimes it's more frequently. Then basically we take the names on the list, each person individually and regularly reads the people's names on their list, and by doing so mentally and energetically uplifts them in prayer. So it's not something where you need to speak out loud, it's not something where you need to show up here or show up on Zoom even, but if you want to hold space and energetically uplift the people in our community and the names of people who are on our list, then please come and see me as well, and I'll connect you with Penny and we'll get that worked out as well. So just those three things that are opportunities for you to contribute in a deeper way. And then finally, I want to introduce you to Kieran Allen Hennessy. Do you remember Vanessa, who used to live here? In 2019, she and Taylor moved to Edmonton. Well, they have a little baby. He was born in February, and his name is Kieran. And so here's a picture of them. Of Vanessa with Kieran. And one more photo I think I have. Can't remember. Isn't that the cutest? So she sends great love, and so I just wanted to let you all know about that. Oops, sorry, didn't mean to do that. I wanted to, with her permission, share that great news and those beautiful pictures with you all. Let us move into a circle and sing our peace song. Please do stay for food and for karaoke and art. We discovered some latent singers in this group, so stick around and have some fun. Thank you, everyone, and thank you to all of you for being here, and thank you to our audiovisual team and our greeters and our platform and everybody. Singers, thank you. Cindy, thank you. Graham, musicians. Okay, yes. I'm coming on down.
That was meant to be, with God as creator, family are we. Let us walk with each other in take. Let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. I am the light of God, I am the love of God, I am the power of God, I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is. You are the light of God, you are the love of God, you are the power of God, you are the presence of God. Wherever you are, God is. You are the light of God, you are the love of God, you are the power of God, you are the presence of God. Wherever you are, God is. We are the light of God, we are the love of God, we are the power